Hello there, very good afternoon to you. How are you today? Feeling a little festive today, although we've got a bit of Halloween going on in the background as well. I'll talk to you about that in a bit. Hello Shelley, hello Leanna, good afternoon Lisa, and Christine, Brendy, Shirley. Who've we got on Facebook? Anybody there yet? Haven't got any comments on Facebook yet, but there's 104 of you, so oh, here we go. Hello Mary, hello Lynette, hello Julie. Sorry if I miss anybody. I've got Angela in Southern Ireland, hello Tilly, and Steph and Jessica and Elizabeth, Janet, Rachel. Where in the world are you? Bizarre weather, is it not, today? So we've had thunderstorms, then brilliant sunshine, blue skies, summer's day, thunderstorms, dark, showers, everything's soaked, and at the moment it's blue skies, brilliant sunshine, lovely summer's day. Quite odd. Who's just arrived? Oh, Linda's arrived in the caravan. I hope you're not getting this weather. I hope it's a bit nicer for you. Hello Lynn. Hello Heather in Somerset, and Sharon's in Australia. Hello to you. Hello Sylvie. I'm going to be doing a bit of sewing. Yeah, just for a change. And we're going to make this chap. He hasn't got a name. So, oh, and I've got a ditty for you too. So what do you think? What we're going to call him? Move me stuff out of the way because I'm a little bit messy over here, am I not? What we're going to call this one then is a bit of a Santa kind of gnome affair. You could have his hat standing up, you can have it to one side, you could have it to the other, you could stuff it, and he's basically a ball with a nose, hat and hair, so it's ever so easy to make as well. Now I have made a video, so that's going to be going onto YouTube at 5:30, so just after we've finished here. So if you don't want the chat, you just want to know how to make it, and all the measurements and everything are going to be there in the description box. That's the case for most of these videos. On the recorded video, I'll give you all of the details, because I've had a few people say they can't find them, but they're looking at the live. Don't look at the live when we're not live anymore. Have a look at the recorded one, and all the details will be there. Cedric's a good name, isn't it? I thought you were going to say Armand. Armand's a good name. Lisa, I think you're saying hello to somebody else. Boris, kind of a Boris hairstyle, that, isn't it? Teresa says he looks a bit Scottish. Yeah, it's kind of, it could be a little bit, couldn't he? Norman with a G. I love that name. What a good idea. Norman Gnome, Lisa, I like that. Nick, as in Saint Nick's, a good one. Bernard the Gnome, Bernard the Gnome. Sammy Santa. It's a gonk. What's the difference between a gnome and a gonk then? I don't know. Hello Alicia in Mexico, welcome along. And Mary says afternoon from Alexandria, Scotland, where the weather can't make its mind up. It's an odd one today. It's quite nice because we can enjoy the sunshine, and then the garden benefits as well. Do you know, Kim pointed out the other day, I never even noticed before, the trees don't seem to realise it's autumn. Still got their leaves on. I was driving back from the office yesterday, which is about an hour and a half's drive or something for me, and there was barely a golden leaf on a tree. It's weird times, is it not? I shall show you how to knot a needle as we go forth, because there's a bit of hand sewing in this one as well. Jock the new. Hello Jill, and I've got lots of ideas. Sharon's got a pink package today. Sunny in Gloucestershire, says Anne. Downpours in West Yorkshire, says Gaynor. Gordon the Christmas gonk. My dad used to have a goose called Gordon. Alison, I know, it's just a bit odd, isn't it? Hello, Aileen in Ohio, welcome along. Anne made a gonk for her sister. She says donkeys years ago. I was thinking gonkies years ago. Oswald, that's a good one, isn't it? So it's dead easy. I said in the video that I made, actually, you could add skinny legs to him. Could be a her. And have him, dangling off the mantel shelf maybe. I haven't put a weight in the bottom of this one, but you could weight him if that makes a difference. And of course you could make different sizes of them as well. I think a row of 3 in different sizes would be good. I'm not going to give you the sizes for different sizes because I haven't made different sizes. I'll give you the measurements for this one that I've made here. Hello Maria. Hello Kim, welcome along. Oh, thank you very much, Jane. It's only next. Was there a goose before Goosey? There was a goose before Goosey, Kim. There were two. I think there were two gooses. My dad was he loved animals, any animals, and when I was living at home, so I would be how old was I? 18. I won a beauty contest because it was PC to do it in those days, and one of my what do they call them? The jobs to do as a beauty queen. I went and did an opening or something at a school, and they were doing talks on how to clean your teeth properly to infant school kids, and there was a guy came along with a small crocodile. As in, hasn't he got a lot of teeth? How do we keep them clean? I know it's a bit odd in an infant school, but when he was leaving, he'd got this huge van, and it was squeaking and chirping, and inside there he got loads of baby chicks, and I persuaded him to let me have a gosling. Now I was on the train, and I actually phoned my mum from the train, because we did have phones on the trains in those, not mobile phones, but phones on the train. And she said to him, "What's that?" She said to me, "What's that squeaking?" It's nothing, nothing. So I ended up coming home with this goose that I was given, and my dad absolutely fell in love with the thing. They adored each other. It was lovely. So they had her for a few years. They called, well, I called her Gordon. Because I just thought Gordon the goose sounded like a good name for a goose. And then when she passed away, we had another one that they called Goosey, because that's a really original name for a goose. And again, her and my dad adored each other. So much so that she was so protective over my dad, she'd attack my mum. And she actually came into the kitchen one day, flew at my mum, knocked her to the floor, sat on her back, pecking the back of her neck, and my mum actually broke her wrist. As part of, she adored my dad. Anyway, dangly legs, says she. Yes, I think dangly legs. Buttons and bobbins, and what we have on the website is what we have. Can't get any more of that. It's practically sold out, I'm afraid. Oh, sure, you're so astute. Yes, the bag over here, because I'm not here on Saturday because we're going to see Frozen the musical. Oh yeah. So I've made you a bag project, and that's going to go live on YouTube at 11 o'clock in the morning. So it's quite a big bag, and it's got the tie around it, and it's got a magnetic clasp as well. So that YouTube at 11 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning, just by way of apologising, just to say sorry I'm not here, but you've got a project anyway. Oh, I'm glad you like your fabric, Jean. Thank you. Hello, Gay. Good morning, says Stargazer. Hello, lady, says Gay. Lynette wobbles. Well, that's a good idea, because it is a bit. It is a bit, is it not? Can I make something frozen? I haven't really thought about anything frozen. I could have a think about that. I'm going with my granddaughters, although I think the little one would rather go and see a Spider-Man movie, to be honest. And my daughter and my daughter-in-law. We don't know what else to do though. It doesn't start till 7 o'clock. Any suggestions what we can do in London on a Saturday afternoon? We thought about Rainforest Cafe, but it's fully booked. So we need somewhere to eat and maybe something to do with a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. Pudgy. That's a nice one too. Should we start sewing, or should we ditty? Shall we have a ditty? This is while I was at just 2 granddaughters, Patricia. I've got 2 granddaughters and 1 grandson, but he's 1 next month, so I don't think he'd appreciate the theatre. And there's no concession for kids. It cost a fortune. I know. Oh, Hamlet. Oh no, Jenny, the theatres cost a fortune. Never mind Hamlet's, but nice idea. Ditty time. What have we done with it? Okay, let's have a little ditty. And then we'll have a chat about Halloween. Ditty. Oh, you love a ditty, do you not? Cork bag, will you be getting anything like the rainbow cork? We don't have the rainbow cork. We can't get the rainbow cork, Stacey, I'm afraid. But we do have lots of other cork on the website if you have a look on debbieshoresewing.com. We did the Natural History Museum for Vienna's birthday a couple of months ago. And because they live in London, was it last weekend they went to the Science Museum as well. So we might go again. Anyway, are you ready? If I could make it happen, if I could have my way, I'd unpick Tuesday and Wednesday and sew in an extra day. I'd call the day sew day if it was within my powers, and I'd spend the day just sewing for that extra 24 hours. I'd make a bag, I'd make a quilt, I'd probably make a mess, I'd finish off my UFOs, and then I'd make a dress. I wouldn't sleep, I wouldn't eat. You know where this is going. There's just no time for any of that when the day is filled with sewing. So when my day is finished and I've made so much stuff, I need to sew another day, because one day is not enough. Can you imagine? 8 days a week. What would you do with your extra day if you had an extra day to fill, where you could do anything you like? Not housework, not anything that's that you need to do on the other 7 days, but you had a whole day of just you, no responsibilities, and you could do anything you wanted. What would you do? I don't know if I'd sew, to be honest. Should I say that out loud? I don't know what I'd do. Maybe go somewhere hot with the beach. Oh, I don't know, Julie Jones. Kimmy, you're watching. Are we out of stock of the quilter's gloves? I know we haven't got the mats, but I think they are sleep, says Lisa. Oh, I wouldn't sleep. I wouldn't sleep all day. Don't know what I would do. So anyway, I was having a chat with John when I was on Sewing Street the other day. We ended talking about anything but sewing, to be honest. I'd be in trouble for that one day. So we'd make cakes, and we were talking about favourite words, and I said one of my favourite words is sail, but I was thinking about it afterwards, and actually visit a wildlife park, because the 8th day would always be dry. That's true, Lois. I don't think we'd have a rainy 8th day. Favourite words. And when I was thinking about it afterwards on the way back, I thought, you know, the word that I like to hear more than any other word, and I could listen to every day of my life, is grandma. 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 Love that word. What's your favourite word? Got a favourite word? Oh, lots of questions for you. Have a spa day, says Charmaine. Be pampered. A massage and a facial. On the beach. Oh, a massage on the beach somewhere hot, with the sound of the waves crashing against the rocks, and the sun beaming down on you, and the sand's white, and the sky is blue, and none is a good word, isn't it? And there's palm trees. That'd be, if you could kind of morph yourself, transport, if you could be anywhere in the world that you wanted to be. The Gnome will be on YouTube, Rosina, at 5:30 this afternoon. Come to your way. Oh, Jenny, I'd love that if you spent the whole day spending in my warehouse. Absolutely. Grandma for Anne too. Cloudy in the south of France. It's all over the place today. Right, great. Oh, Mary's looking forward to Great Granny. Oh, I wanted to show you, because we'll be getting the books back in stock anytime now. This is where the idea for the Gnome came from. There is a Gnome project in Half Your Christmas, and it's that time of year, isn't it, when we want to be thinking about Christmas decorations and gift packaging and that kind of thing. Just looking for a gnome. There's a gnome in here somewhere. Oh, there he is. So those are the ones that I made in the book, and just like with the gnome I'm making today, I've used piping cord. We've got this on the website. They're actually in 30-metre boxes. There's loads there, and it's 1/4 inch wide, but this does take, surprisingly, about 5 metres of cord. So those are the little versions, but this one I made a little bit different, because I've used a soft jersey, so it's all nice and squidgy, and his hat's made out of polar fleece. We will be getting some more. I think we've got it in stock, but we're running out, so we will be getting some more back in stock again, in different colours too. So I've made this one a little bit different, because this one's actually got a base in it, but this one's just like a circle gathered, so it's really easy. And what happened, that was quite by chance, when I cut out the triangles for the hat shapes, they twisted a little bit like oh, where's the cathedral with the twisted tower? Oh, can't remember where that was, but a little bit like that. It was a happy accident, but I kind of like the look. So with Half Yard Christmas, this is chaptered into different styles. So I'll just take you through really quickly, because I'm going to keep selling out of this one at this time of year. Don't forget, if you're a member of the Half Yard Club, you get your 10% discount, and all of the books are 10% discounted anyway. So in effect, you get 20% discount if you're a club member. So the different chapters are things like the Rustic Christmas. So there's a lot of string and hessian going on in that one. And not always sewing, to be honest. There's some things that aren't. And then there's a Scandinavian type of Christmas with the gnomes in there as well. Your rustic wreath, and great way to use up your scraps. Then there's a traditional Christmas with everything kind of red and green in that one. And the next one is a monochrome, so black and white. So very much, of course, you can do these in any fabrics you like. You don't have to stick to black and white. There's no reason why that couldn't be in festive colours. This is all half yard, less than half a yard of fabric, but this is actually quite tall. So it stands about 2 foot tall, that tree. Table mats, something for the kids, for the kids to use and for the kids to make as well. So that's mainly felt, and then something a little bit modern and contemporary. So again, it's going to be back in stock any day now, but it is on pre. You can order now, and it'll be sent out as soon as it gets back in again. So that's where the idea for the gnomes came from. I just wanted to make one that's a bit different, rather than do exactly what you've got in the book. It's a kind of a take on what's in the book. And what I'm going to put that. What I also wanted to mention is the bunting behind me. We're down to the last of the panels now. We won't be getting any more, but if you order now, they will be here before Halloween to give you plenty of time to make them up. So the bunting panel, Kim's actually made that one up. It's a lot longer than you see there, and the picture of the pumpkins is one of the panels on here. Now this isn't all of it. You're going to get a panel that's bigger than this, but it'll give you an idea of what you've actually got. It'll be a lot bigger than this. So you've got the bunting, and you've got these makeup bags, but you can use them for pictures as well. And you've got some panels that you can make kind of soft toys with too. But we're down to the last handful of those, so I just wanted to give you a reminder before Halloween if you're going to be making things up. Yes, you could use fat quarters to make up the gnome jemmy, but I have used a stretchy fabric for this one because I think it's a lot easier, but you could use a woven fabric for it if you wanted to. Could you swap the mono to red and green? Absolutely, you choose any colour that you like, Alice, and it doesn't have to be exactly what I've put in there. So again, if you order from my website, you get 10% off. Remember, if you're a club member, put your 10% discount code in, you get 20% off. Jean's been making gnomes. Anna's just retrieved the bread pudding from the... bread pudding. I haven't had that for a long time. Hello, Celine in Quebec. Tommy wants the book. Feel free. Missed the very beginning. Is that top William Morris fabric? I think it is, Leslie. Next to doing a whole range of t-shirts and tops and things in, I think they just call them Morris. So I don't know if it's actually William Morris, but it's kind of inspired by... Colette says, oh phew. No, we haven't started sewing yet. Been too busy nattering about one thing and another. Right, should we sew? Should we do that? Shall we? Okay. So, let me mat down. That Sandra made me. Hi, Anne. Right, move that to one side. So then there is a bit of hand sewing, so it may be a while. And again, this is going live, I'm just shifting up a bit, on YouTube at 5:30 with all of the exact measurements in there. So I'll give you the measurements in inches. If you want centimetres, have a look on the video that I've recorded. Oh, Debbie, a beauty win, I'm not surprised yet. Oh, thank you very much. My sister and I were producer and entertainers for Colorado and Miss America franchise. You should write a book, Nancy. You've led an amazing life. We used to do things like when I first started modelling, which was 1976. It was kind of the done thing. You entered beauty contests. There was a lot of them around at the time. Hello, Debbie Deacon. Thank you, Janice. Oh, 350 watching on Facebook. Lovely. Hello, Marita in Germany. My husband said, who's that Debbie Shaw? TV's Debbie Shaw, tell your husband if you don't mind. Tell him to Google me. I'm all over the place. Good afternoon, Jackie. Hello, Marita in Germany. Have I said that one? Nancy said we had lots of it. You're right about it, Nancy, you should do. Anyway, let's sew. So the main part is the body, which is 15 inches by across by 6 inches down, and then I have made a base for it, and it's just a little circle which is 6 inches. This is actually gathered to fit the 6 inches. 3 inches, that's actually gathered to match the circle. So I know that's a lot too big. It's too big for the circle, but we gather that. And then his nose is a 3-inch circle of fabric, and the hat is a triangle or 2 triangles which measures 8 inches across this way and 10 inches down that way. And that is practically it. I've got a pom-pom to put on the end of his hat, and the hair is literally piping cord, which I've kind of untwisted to make it all frizzy. You could use yarn, you could use strips of felt if you don't have piping cord. So let's start by making up the body first. It's quite an easy project. The only time consuming thing is the hand gathering and the like. Linda's husband knows it. Isn't that a bit of diva? Do you know who I am? Whoops. Could wool be used for that? Absolutely, Amanda. Yes, you could do. I've given the, I think it's about 5 meters of cord, which is quite thick. I'd probably say, I don't know, if you buy a 50-gram ball of yarn, you've got plenty there, I would say. Carol's come out of the sun. Oh, thank you. I wouldn't. Hello, Miroslava in Bulgaria. So I'm going to use, it's a kind of a, where are we? Here we are. Oh, that would be better if I could see what I was doing. I use the edge of my foot as a seam allowance, which is, oh, it's getting knotted up, a little bit more than, come here, a tad more than 1/4 inch, but around about 1/4 inch seam allowance. It's not set in stone. And we'll just sew this together to make a tube. Hello, Sarah in New Mexico. Nice to hear from you. Amanda's in Sweden, but is a quarter German. Right, so let's gather this up. So we'll do that knot again that you keep asking about while I'm here. So I need a longer piece of thread than that, and I'll do it in black, I think, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So I like to use a double thread when I'm gathering by hand. You could do this by machine if you prefer. Personally, I find it easier and quicker by hand. So let's just thread this up, and then I'll show you my knot again. I've picked a needle with a big eye as well. I like Sharp's needles personally, and they're long and slim with a nice sized eye. So I'm lining up the 2 ends so they meet, and then you might see better over here actually. So you take the ends of your thread, whether there's 1 or 2 ends, and hold them so that the thread is pointing towards the needle. So I'm right-handed. It obviously be the other way around if you're left-handed. Might be easier to see. And then grab the ends with your needle hand, and we're going to wrap this around. I'm going to do it quite a few times because I want a big knot. The more times you wrap this around, the bigger your knot is going to be. So there's my fabric twisted around my needle, and then I'm going to hold the needle in my opposite hand and push it through, and I'm going to drag all of those twists down to the end of my thread, and I've got a nice big fat knot on the end there, and if I wanted to I could trim off the loose ends. So for normal hand sewing I'd maybe just wrap around 3 or 4 times. Because I'm using a knitted fabric and it's quite a loose weave, I don't want the knot to pull through, so I've wrapped it through quite a few times. So I'm just going to check where, that was at the bottom of my fabric is, and make a running stitch. So stitches around about 1/4 inch apart, or 6 millimeters. It's not absolute, and I'm doing these quite close to the edge of the fabric, and I'm just going to gather all of this up until it measures the same as the circle. So I'll put those together in just a second. Alison likes to hand bind quilts, so lots of hand sewing. I enjoy it, to be honest. I find it really relaxing. But for gathering, if I'm making clothing, then I'll doing it on the sewing machine and sewing 2 rows of thread. But for something like this, I just find it quicker to actually hand sew it. Michaela loves gnomes. Oh, Whisper's got her head around knots. What's Frankie's bad news? Sorry, I like your news whether it's good or bad. Oh no, she's fallen over and broke her wrist. Oh, I hope, are you in plaster? I hope you're going to be all right. I'll be fine. It'll be fine. It must have been painful. Hello, Hillary in Vancouver, 8:21. Is that 8:21 AM, won't it? 8:21 in the morning. We're making a gnome, Caroline. We're making this chap. Never heard of waxing your thread. Oh, waxing your thread is such a good idea. I'll do that if I'm doing, maybe if I'm hand quilting. It makes the thread, it straightens it for a start. You know, our thread can curl quite a lot, but it helps the thread to glide through your fabrics really easily. Oh, I've got a bit of a knot going on there. Just bear with me while I untangle my knot. Don't know how that happened. I blame you for this. Blame you for everything that goes wrong because you're distracting when I'm sewing. There you are. Let's just undo that knot. Oh, haven't got it. Chat amongst yourself for a second while I try and find out where this knot is. I have a knot in my thread. Must have added it a little bit too long. Should have used the wax, shouldn't I? Where are you? There you go. Oh, we'll carry on anyway. Arthritis doesn't help with the hand sewing. I'm okay actually with the hand sewing like this. It's gripping things and lifting things with my hands that really hurts. Who's using earwax on their thread? Mind you, might be a good idea. Waste not, want not. Oh, Linda's daughter and 5 kids and 2 dogs have moved into a house. Do you know, I'd love that. Maybe only for a short time, but I'd love that. Right, now before I tie that off, and I have still got a knot in it, I want to make sure that it's going to fit the bottom. So I'm going to just spread that out a little bit and pop a few pins in here to hold it into place. You can be exact, of course, and measure so that you've got your exact quarters as that comes around. Oh, I wish that knot wasn't there. But if you're using this fabric or any kind of printed fabric, it can be quite forgiving for things like this. So that seems to fit, just a little gather there, and I'll knot that off like so, and then we'll sew it in place on the machine. So let's try and evenly space those gathers out. That will do. And then I'll just sew around the end. A bodkin with an earwax remover. Lois has got a bodkin with an earwax remover for waxing the thread. No, is that what they did? Really? I suppose if you're on a budget, you may as well use your bodily excretions. If we get onto that one. Oh, thank you very much, Nancy. Nancy has a lot of pink parcels flying across the big pond to Colorado. Please, no more suggestions on what you can use earwax for. Who's been felting belly button fluff? Oh, no, don't do it. I'm not too fussed about these gathers being absolutely perfect. I know a lot of you will be, so take your time, but I just wanted to get this base in. And again, because it's a fleecy type of fabric and it's a pattern fabric, it is very forgiving. So I'm just trying to line up the edges and fold those through. Patricia, I did say I could have gathered by machine. I find it quicker and easier sometimes to just do it by hand, and I quite enjoy doing that. So if you're gathering by machine, normally you do 2 rows of thread. I wouldn't bother on this one, and lengthen your stitch to about 5, and then pull the bottom thread through. Can you use quilting fabric for the body? Yes, you can do. If you're going to use a cotton fabric, who was that? Oh, you've gone, sorry. Then I would, I'd be a little more exact with your gathering. In which case, mark your quarter marks on the circle at the bottom and the quarter marks on the gathered fabric. Just make sure they match up. Because on a quilting fabric, you're going to see the gathers. This one, let me just make sure I've caught all of the fabric. Just missed a little bit there. With this fabric, with it being stretchy and with it being fleecy, you can't and patterned, you can't really see all the gathers. If you've got a quilting cotton, you're going to see these, so you just need to be a little bit more precise if you're going to do that. So I've got that. So if you look really, really closely, I did have a knot in the bottom, which I'm not making apologies for. It's a little bit more gathered on one side than it is on the other, but you don't really notice. Right, I've missed a bit there again. Your fault. Sheena, we're making a gnome. We're making a Christmas decoration gnome. The one that's in my Christmas book is made from a circle of fabric, and the reason I didn't do that this time is because it's bigger. And if it's a whole circle of fabric, there could be, I thought there might be a little bit too much gathering around there. So I've made it a little bit more tubular. Now at this point you've got a hat. So that's the base sewn in anyway. So we're going to stuff it now. Not too close to the top, because again I'm going to hand gather this. If you're going to machine gather it, do your stitches around the top now before you stuff it up, so you're going to have trouble getting it under the sewing machine. So I'm going to stuff it nice and tightly down to the bottom, but leave an inch or so at the top so I can gather. Amanda, we're making a gnome. It will be on YouTube at 5:30, so if you want the measurements and more close-ups and less chat about bodily functions, then have a look on YouTube later on. Nice thing about the stretchy fabric as well, you can kind of mould it. So a handful of fillet in there, and then we're going to gather the top up again. Might need a bit more thread, methinks. Cooking fillet steak with sweet potato chips and onion rings while watching this. Multi-talented. Hello Elizabeth from Idaho. Hello, welcome along. Haven't decided on this. No, Nancy, I need to go back through the names afterwards, I think. Rice at the bottom is a good idea. I'll say that in the video actually. If you wanted to weight it down, I'd make a bag, not just put the rice in here, make a little bag out of calico or some kind of cheap cotton, and put a bag of rice in, a bag of sand in. You could put a few pebbles in the bottom as well. And if you're going to do that, you need to do it before the toy filler goes in. And if you're going to sit him on a shelf, or if you're using him as a pattern weight or a little doorstop, then a bit of weight in the bottom I think would be a jolly good idea. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Janet, thank you. Amanda, is it your fault, the earwax thing? Another Amanda in the Isle of Wight, hello. And TR61 is in Houston. Virginia's in San Antonio. Oh, we're all over the place again, aren't we? So let's go around the edge here. Now, this is all speeded up on the video, but you're going to have to put up with me doing this now. About 1/4 of an inch or so from the top. Oh, Lisa's taken her spanner and used it. As moderator of the live, she's sent Amanda to the naughty corner. Lisa, don't forget to let her out again. I used to send people to the naughty corner. I think Leslie's still there for doing housework on a Saturday morning. And I forget to let them out again. You have a little tap every now and then. I've been here for 3 weeks. No, not coming out. Hubby said bring some dessert. I haven't had my coffee yet, have I? Okay, it doesn't take too long to do the hand gathering on something like this. It's not huge. So I said, Amanda's really ashamed for even mentioning earwax. Amanda, could have been worse. No, if you've got a use for it and you can produce enough of it, I have a problem producing earwax. I wouldn't be able to utilise that that part of my body. No. Leslie, actually, Leslie, I don't think you've been in there for 3 weeks. It's more like 3 months, isn't it? Come out then. Come on. Let's let Leslie out of the naughty corner. Just behave, okay? And keep off the gin. Okay, so just about got round to the top. So Amanda says, I don't no, we don't believe you. We know you keep your earwax. Got jars of it. Family think it's honey. Earwax on toast. Where are we going with this? British Columbia, Canada, we deliver. Canada, we can. I don't think it's an option on the website because, to be honest, Julie, it's a fortune. I think the last time I had a quote for posting to Canada, it was something like £36. It's an awful lot of money. Nothing to do with us. You know, that's not us being greedy. That is just really expensive for some reason to ship to Canada. So, if you want a quote, then do let me know. And in fact, if you do, go to enquiries at debbieshawsewing.com. I don't pick up questions on Facebook very often. I get an awful lot of questions on the website, so that's the best place to go. Actually, it may take me a while to get back to you if you put comments on Facebook. When you think about it, I try and answer the questions on YouTube as often as I can, but I get literally hundreds, so I can spend a couple of hours a day just going through questions. I've got about 200 videos on YouTube, and I think I've said before, when the comments come up on my side of YouTube, they come up for all videos, all in a big long line. So if I'm getting comments, you know, 5 or 6 comments on each video, and there's 200 there, it takes me a while to get through them. On Facebook, I don't get so many, but there are quite a lot there. So if you go to the website and message me that way, that's going to be the quickest way. Haven't heard back from Sue Sheila. So Sue, are you watching? I did message you, see how you are, and tell you to come and spend some time with us if you wanted to, but I haven't heard anything back, so I hope she's going to be okay. Anne's head is full of Debbie Christmas gifts. You need to get them out of your head and underneath your sewing machine. Now you can kind of mould this. I wanted him to be a little bit taller and slimmer, and that's the nice thing again about using a stretch fabric, because you can kind of mould him to the right shape. We're going to do hair next. Now if you have a hot glue gun, this is going to be a quicker way of doing it. I don't have mine with me, so I'm going to use wet glue, and I'm going to cut pieces of my piping cord to about 9 inches long, and lots of them, and then we're going to glue them going around in circles. They may seem a little bit skinny as it goes around, but again I'm going to untwist them and fluff them up, which makes it a little bit thicker, and I like that kind of look. I like that, and it's really easy. So I didn't make it Monday. No, don't get time for that at the moment. We all want to be taller and slimmer after lockdown. I don't know if I'd want to be tall. A bit slimmer would be good though. Right, I can't remember how many of these I actually cut, but there's quite a few. So I'll cut a few and glue them on, then cut a few more and glue them on, then we'll make his hat. So it is a really, really simple make. So I'll get these glued on for now. So pop your glue about 1 inch or 2.5 centimetres from the top, and I'm just going to do about 1/4 of it at the moment. Remember to put your lid back on again when you're finished. Sonia's had a cold. I haven't had a cold for years. I thought something might be happening the other day. You know when your nose feels hot and your throat's all sore, but that's as far as it got, thankfully. Thanks, Lisa. Yes, do remember to use your discount if you wanted to. We've got this on the website if you wanted loads of piping cord. That's the size I use most often. So if I'm not for dressmaking, but if I'm making piping for cushion covers and things like that, then this is the size that I use. So it's 1/4 inch or 6mm piping cord. Let's put that on there. Cut a few more while that sticks, and we'll carry on with it. You 5'8", Lisa. You must have been towering over me when we had a catch up. I don't remember. Sorry, we'll cut a few more of these. Whoops. There we go. Oh, is anybody in Yeovil? I keep forgetting to put the post on my Facebook page, but I am doing it. It's only for an hour, but I'm doing a talk on the 1st of November. That's my sister's birthday. At the Yeovil Book Fair. So you do need to buy tickets. I'm sure it's not just me. I think there's quite a few authors going to be there from different genres, giving talks and whatnot. But I'm coming down hopefully with Kim. If my car works, I've got it back after 3 weeks at last, but it doesn't sound right, so you never know. So yeah, it'd be nice for you to pop over if you're in the Yeovil area. I've never been to Yeovil before. So loads of glue on there. You could sew these on, by the way. You don't have to glue. If you prefer to hand sew, then that's fine. But this isn't going to go in the... That's a good idea, Linda. What was I going to say? It's not going to go in the wash. So I have no qualms with using a bit of glue to hold these in place. So just a few more, I think. And then if you've got any gaps that you want to fill in, with this one I'm going to unwind them a bit so they do go fluffy, and it's a lot thicker than it looks here. But if you think it looks a little bit sparse, you know, if you're using yarn, then you may want to fill in the gaps a little bit more. And if you're using a hot glue gun, of course, this is going to dry almost instantly. Christine, yes, I can't say. We did get the results of the voting, and thank you very much, but we are sworn to secrecy until they actually announce the results in Sew Magazine and Crafts Beautiful. I think Crafts Beautiful comes out on the 28th of November, and I can't remember when the Sew Magazine was. So I can't say who's won anything at the moment. But thank you. Thank you for voting anyway. Mel, I'm in Yeovil on the 1st at the Yeovil Book Fair. I'm going to do a talk on, I've got an interview on my book, So Eco-Friendly, at 12 o'clock. It's quite a big affair, isn't it, this Yeovil Book Fair? I shall post with exact times and how you book your tickets and all that kind of thing. I just keep forgetting to do it. Quite looking forward to that though. So I'm going to come down with Kim, I think, because it's a long drive. I'm going to fill in a few gaps. I don't mind that, and these are all going to be too long as well, so it's going to need a bit of a trim. But if you do have any gaps that you need to fill in, I've just cut some single strands as well. And let's do that. My sister's signing up half. Oh, do you remember, we do have gift vouchers for the Half Yard Club if you wanted to give a gift. If you go to the home page, I think it's on the home page, there's a link to gift vouchers. So you can either give the gift of I think it's a year or a monthly, I can't remember. But yes, if you wanted to give a Christmas gift for the Half Yard Club, then that is an option for you on the website. I think that'll just about do. I don't think we need too much more on there, do we? Maybe one in there. And one in there. And again, they're all different lengths, but maybe one in there. We'll give it a trim in a bit. That'll do. And then we'll leave that to dry for a bit while I make up the hat. Just squash those down. Watching with 2-year-old granddaughter Lily. Oh, hi Lily. Lily, hello. What are you doing? You with your grandma? Yes, you do. Thank you, Lisa. You do get a free month with the Half Yard Club as well. Don't forget to put that code in when you go to checkout, and don't forget when you do join, have a look on the About Me page, and it'll give you your discount code for your 10% discount on my website on debbieshawsewing.com. Hot glue gun, me burned fingers. Oh, I do that. The thing I love about a hot glue gun though is picking off the strands. I know you can give it a blast with a heat gun and it all melts, but I just love picking off the strands. Anyway, let's make up the hat. Oh, he's gone. He's been on the sherry. Yes, you could. Fringing would be a really good idea. So fringing or yarn, or you could cut some strips of felt, anything like that. It doesn't have to be the. Please note no category for super mods. What's a super mod, Lisa? Right. So I'm going to sew the long sides, right sides together. We need to do the nose as well, don't we? Let's have a bit of that. We can have a bit of that and a bit of that. I can multitask as well, you see. One of the reasons I haven't used my hot glue gun is because it's a bit embarrassing. It's in a real mess. They never seem to stand up properly for me, so they fall over onto paper or something. It ends up all gunked up. So it's rather messy. Oh, Denise's power's gone off. Oh, no, sorry, Janet's power's. Oh dear. Is that the weather? Lisa, a super mod. That's a supermodel. She's so modest, our Lisa is. Right, let's chop the point off here. I have got a bin down there, I don't chuck it on the floor. And turn it through, you can do that again. And take my turning tool and just push out the point. So many glues, I haven't got a glue. It has a stand on it, but it doesn't seem to work, it still falls over. I tell you what I do need. Oh, hi, oh, Kev. Oh, Kev in canvas. Lisa's such a diva. One of those non-stick mats, ironing mats kind of thing would be useful, wouldn't it? Now when you turn this through, it's going to have little points here, so I'm going to chop those off as well. And the thread. And that side. So we've got that shape hat. And I'm just going to roll that over when it goes on. If you're using cotton, then you'll probably need to hem that. So just fold it over. You don't have to even do it twice, just fold it over once and put some top stitching around it. Still waiting for that to dry somewhat. So let's make up his nose. Meanwhile, excuse me, I've just, oh, there's noise. I've just dropped his nose on the floor. So more hand gathering. Again, you can do that on the machine if you prefer. I just kind of like this. And everything would be over with far too quickly if everything was machine sewn today. Oh, Jane's on her way to the airport from Cyprus. Have to catch it when I'm home. Oh, I'm glad you like it. It makes Jane's from bags, doesn't it? 2 horse tail. Yes, Connie, that is such a good idea. So you could have a girl and a boy. So if you did that, then you need to make them a little bit longer. That's a good idea. Should have done that, shouldn't I? All right, that goes there. So I'm just going to make a running stitch around the edge of here, as before. Remember, all of your measurements and everything are going to be on YouTube. Have a look at not this video in the description box, but the one that's coming up at 5:30, and that'll give you all of your measurements there. The cat would chew on his bit. I don't have the cats anymore, but Bobbin is very good with toys like this. She wouldn't really bother with it. Previous dogs would have been chucking it all over the house. Get a power glue gun, it's not so hard. Oh, really? I didn't know. Oh, a lower power glue. Didn't know you could get lower powered ones. I shall have to have a look. I've just got one of those. I think it's a Stanley. Let's keep sewing. Oh, Sheena can't wait to make it. It's so quick. honestly. I think using the fleece helps because it is very forgiving. It's really, really easy to work with if you haven't worked with stretchy fabrics like this before. And it does disguise wobbly stitches, no end. So we'll have a little bit of fluff in the bottom of there, tiny bit. And we'll stuff that in before we gather it. So that goes in there like that. And then pull it together. And I'm just going to sew a few stitches across from one side to the other just to make the gathered bit small. And I'm not going to cut the thread on this one before I sew it on. I don't need the needle again. We'll put the hat on first though before we position this. So that'll do for that. Right, let's pop this on. Colette's going to make some Descend in the Christmas shoebox. So that's a nice idea. Janet's back. Megan's doing a stall. Oh, made a Wonky House doorstop into a bag. Oh, I'd love to see that. I use round bag handles to open the roof of Velcro. What a good idea. Put a post on the Half Yard Club, Megan. I'd love to see that. Right, let's rearrange this hair. And I'm just going to fold the front of it up a little bit like that. And I'm going to glue it. If you wanted to hand sew that on, that's entirely up to you. I'm going to glue. And I'm going to glue to the body, not to the hair. So a big blob there, just at the side. And I'll pin across there. And then try and make sure it's symmetrical on the other side. Part the hair, blob, pin. And then one at the back, blob, pin. Try not to pin through the glue because you'll spoil your pins. And then I'm going to put one just underneath the rolled up bit of the hat there. You could put some filler inside the hat if you want. If you want it standing up, then maybe put a little bit of toy filler inside there, particularly if you are using cotton, because it'll have a tendency to flop otherwise. And let's sew the nose on at this point. So just underneath where the hat is. Comes to life when he's got a nose, doesn't he? I'll just have a few stitches back there. Might put some glue behind this as well, actually. Particularly if you've got kids, little ones that might pull it. So I'll hand for you a few stitches. Hello, Sarah. Myra's just got an email from RBS. They're changing all of our cards to Maestro debit, and I'm on the going around. Oh, okay. Oh, just to mention, while we're talking about payments and things, if you're on the website ordering anything, or maybe coming up for Christmas time, and you know your bills are a little bit higher than normal, we have worked with PayPal to arrange split payments. Doesn't cost you anything in interest. It's not anything really to do with our website, it's a PayPal thing. But if you wanted to pay over 3 interest-free instalments, then you can do. When you go through to check out your PayPal, it's over £30 you need to spend. That's a limit that they've set on it, not us. But you spend over £30 and you can split the cost. So when you go through to pay on PayPal, just putting a bit of glue around the nose, and it asks you, you know, which credit or debit card that you want to use or where you want the payment to come from. It'll also say right at the bottom, do you want to split the payment? So you can split the cost into 3. We don't know that, so it doesn't come through and, you know, tell us any of your information like that. But it's an option for you if you wanted to order anything and split the cost that way. It is, isn't it, like a big reveal adding the nose. All of a sudden he's got personality. Now this may take a while as well, because I'm just going to go around and undo these. So what I've done on this one, I shan't do it all now. These kind of split into 3, and then you can undo these again and fluff them up a bit, so you've just kind of got the string. So that's what I did on the little one. It takes a while. But we've got plenty, where are we? It's only 5 to 5. We've got plenty of time, haven't we? Ballarat, a whole piece of string. Oh, Amanda, I've had I used to have bull terriers. I've always had bull terriers of some description, Staffordshire English crossers, and they tended to eat anything. The kind of things I found. One of them was a whole carrier bag. That took some getting out. We'd had meat in it. Been to the butcher's and bought some meat, so obviously he liked the smell of that. When the kids were little, whole nappies, fishing nappies out the bin. Why? Why'd they do that? Oh, Pepe. Oh, I'm so sorry. His grandmother died from COVID. So sorry. Very windy in Chelsea and Chichester. Linda uses PayPal in 3 years it a lot. It's a good idea, isn't it? I like PayPal. With the payments systems we have on the website, we use Stripe and we use PayPal, so they're the two most secure, I think, payment systems. Mary, the nose is a 3-inch circle of, I've just used the polar fleece again. Crocheted a little gnome. That's a good idea. Can't remember what I was talking about now, can I? Right, so all I'm doing, I'm fiddling around with this, look, just undoing these ends and making them a little bit fluffy. That could have been a bit longer. And so although I've got, you know, it looks quite sparse when you make these up. When you undo the, come around to the front, I'll do those later. So we'll be here all day. You don't want to sit and watch me do that, do you? It's gone all dark again outside. Isn't it weird weather at the moment? A pair of glasses, says Abigail. Right, so when you undo it, it goes a little bit stringy like that, but then you can actually split all the stringy bits and it just goes very curly and wiry and wild. And again, that's what I did on this one, so it's all very fluffy. It takes a while, but it's quite nice to do actually. Oh, Anne's got to go. You have to go and do see to a horse. Says off you pop then. I'll see you again next time. Remember, I'm not here on Saturday this week, so I have done a project for you, and it's the bag at the back here. So you've got a large tote bag with a tie around it, and that's going to be going live on YouTube at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. Alison Springer Spaniel would steal tin foil from the bin. Ooh. Oh, that'll go through my fillings. Right, so I'll leave the back of this again because you have to see me do all of that, do you? Oh, Megan's going to make videos to teach her friends how to sew. That's a good idea. It's nice to be able to share your talent with people, isn't it? So again, I'm going to leave that like that for now. I will fluff it up again later on because I think it looks nice. Hairstyles all over the place, so this one needs a bit of a trim. Remember not to cut it too short because this is a hairstyle that isn't going to grow back again. So I'll just level that off a bit. Oh, it's raining again now. Oh, how weird is it? Right. Trim there. That will do. Oh, I've got a straggly bit there, that's it. Let's move all of this out of the way. In the bin. Oh, and that. And again, I'll untwist all of that again at a later date. I'm going to put some white thread in now. I'm just going to add the pom-pom to the top of the hat. And that's another one done. Oh, pipe cleaners for glass. Oh, that would be such a good idea. Just love, that's such a good idea. I should have done that. See, I should consult you before I start making these things, couldn't I? You've got some great ideas. Can you hear the rain? Honestly. Glue some of the clippings under his nose. Yes! Oh, could have done that. Hang on. I'll get my bin up in a minute and have a go at that. Pom-pom can wait. That's 5 o'clock then. Right, you wait there a minute. Let me get my bin up. Let's see if that will work. Got so many scraps in here. Right. Is that going to work? So those glued under, that's a nice idea, isn't it? It's got a little moustache under there. Let's do that. So let's put a little bit of glue. If I was making it as a doorstop D, personally, I'd use pebbles, or a bag of sand, or a bag of rice. Just be careful with anything like rice or barley or those kind of things if your floor's damp, because you might find it swells. But sand, I think, pebbles, I think, would be my choice to weigh it down, or one big pebble would be okay. Remember to put that in before you put your toy filler in. I'll fluff that up in a bit when it's dry, but that's one lovely idea. Let's just give them a trim. I can't wait to see how you personalise yours. You could put like a fur trim all the way around it. I love the glasses ideas. I wish I'd got pipe cleaners here with me. I'll be doing that right now. Such a good idea. So just sew the pom-pom onto the end. And you could glue it if you wanted to. So it's quite easy to sew there. Or like I did before, do both, bit of glue and sewing, just in case. Depends who's going to be playing with it and how likely it is that someone's going to pull it off, I suppose. Oh, Mary's going to see her granddaughter. Can't wait to see mine on Saturday. Don't see them often enough. Aquarium gravel, that's a good idea. Hi, Patty. Don't get mixed up with rice pudding like with the rice pudding like I did. Sent all my projects a dusty white. Oops. I think I'd glue them, Sheena. Would that be the idea? Just glue the specks on. Again, this isn't something. It's ornamental. It's not a toy. This is a Christmas or a festive ornament. So no harm in gluing things on there at all. All right, I think that might be dry now. So let's take the pins out, and we're finished. One winky eye. I want to see what you've been doing with yours. I think they're so funny. So there we go. We've got a pair of them. And that's out the way. Tidy that. Move you down there. And there they are. Hello. Oh, hello. Oh, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too. Oh, I went back to children's ITV. Oh, puppets and silly voices. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, well that's me done for now. I don't know what I'm doing next Wednesday yet. I'll try and have a think tomorrow as to what we're going to do next week. Remember again, where's my little mouse? Make sure we're all caught up. Not here on Saturday. White fur would look really good, or even a row of pom-poms if you don't have white fur. Thank you, Amanda. So yeah, remember I'm not here on Saturday. Where have you gone over here? Mouse doesn't work properly, do bear with me. I just want to catch up on comments and the like. Thank you. See, Pauline, something like this I think is just a simple project to make, and it's quick, and particularly if you've got, I mean, the kids could make this so easily, couldn't they? And not be bored with it. And it doesn't matter if things go a little bit wrong or your stitches aren't perfect. And I love the idea of you personalising these as well. It could be Santa Myra, absolutely. I will enjoy Frozen. I can't wait, Mary. I think the girls are as excited as the grandchildren. A bell would be a nice idea as well, Sheena, instead of the pom-pom. Oh. Okay, well, video will be going up at 5:30. Looks like I'm going to get soaked by home back down to the house again. I shall see you again next Wednesday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. If you can join me then, I'd love to have your company. So thank you for today. You take care, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.